I didn't think I was going to make it, but I'm here. Thank you, Raise Lord. That's really kind of you with your round of applause there. And we're going to be doing some GM prep today because I've got an idea that I really want to see whether or not we can put into action. And it's going to be difficult. I'm not too sure whether or not I can make it work, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can. I had a bit of problem with Discord before. It doesn't seem to be opening at all. I'm not too sure what's wrong with it at all. I just sort of like get a grey screen with it. I don't know what's going on with that at all. I don't think there's anything. I just suddenly realized that it might be. No, it's not. It's just not playing. Oh, it's starting. It's having another go now. Oh, this looks hopeful. Yes, we're in. We are in. That's good. Not that I need Discord or anything like that, but I just like having it open just in case somebody says something super nice on there. Hi, Whiskey River. How you doing? Hope you're looking good and feeling super duper fine tonight. We're doing some GM prep at the moment for one of the adventures that is going to be happening. I'm not bad at all, thank you. Not bad at all. So this is the Return of the Spirits. And if you remember, we've been working on it for some time. Trying to get it to work. And one of the things that I have here is this idea of hordes and rabble type tribes people. And what I want to recreate or try to recreate is like a massive battle. I literally want it that there's the party, or four. Is there four of them or five of them? Or there'll be five of them. Look ahead, and there's just hordes of things running towards them over the ground. And it's just sort of like, they're almost like in open countryside. And it's just sort of like, what on earth do they do? And I want to get this feeling of almost like fighting back to back and the hordes being killed left, right, and center, and them taking some damage, but nothing serious. That's the sort of like, and I get quite sort of like, wow, if I could do that, that seriously would be fantastic. I think it would be absolutely wonderful. And I would love to see their faces as they suddenly realize that, you know, the horde is coming towards them. And they've got to fight against them and sort of like get out the way, etc. So there's some rules in Mithras that are called. Let me just see if I can find them. There's some rules called rabbling, and 111, they're on. I'll share it across with you so you'll be able to see it. Hi, Top Hat, how you doing? I hope you're looking good and feeling super duper fine. Let's see whether or not, yeah. This is the one. So it says up here, only use these optional rules when the characters are fighting a ravening horde of inconsequential and expendable adversaries. Competent NPCs and major villains should be treated differently. So this is what I want to recreate. You know, this... a mainstay of some fantasy literature is the scene of heroes scything down hordes of faceless opponents, be they enemy soldiers, fanatical cultists, or ravening demi-humans. To portray such battles in Mithras can not only be time-consuming enterprises, but are also difficult to pull off satisfactorily, considering the ever-present risk of being outnumbered or rolling a fumble at the wrong point. Luck points can only help so far. Thank you, Darth Picard, for that look. A better way of modeling these types of encounter is to provide a weaker foe or simplify the bookkeeping required to keep track of the injuries. Mithras offers, I've got these hiccups. Mithras offers alternative options to dealing with this issue, thus speeding up combat considerably. So this is what I was... This is what I was sort of like wanting to recreate. This idea that they sort of like see this movement in the distance, and as they get closer and closer, they see these hordes of almost like ghoul-like creatures running towards them in huge amounts, and it's just sort of like, oh my giddy aunt, what's going to happen? So rabbles are folk who intimidate by their numbers, but in actual fact have little prowess or willingness to remain in combat once blood is shed. They can take many forms: vicious beggars who set upon drunken characters when they stumble home, or mindless adherents of the dark cult. So, I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. Thank you for asking. Good grief, I said asking. Thank you for asking. Let me just change this over to my events. So, in terms of conflict, members of a rabble use the following guidelines. They have little or no armor. Rabble are too incompetent to able to use special effects. Rabble have hit points equal to 1/5 rounded up of their constitutional size of the average member of that race. Once they receive damage, they cease fighting. If damage is less than their hit points, they flee cursing or yelling in fear. The damage equals or surpasses their hit points, they collapse, clutching their wound location, or weeping and scream. If the damage is double their hit points, they die in a spectacular and gruesome manner. Once 1/3 of their number are dead or wounded, the rest of the rabble break and take flight. Okay, so this is something that might work, but it's not working. It's not working at the moment, I don't think. I don't think I could have masses of these things coming towards the party. But we'll start off with this, and we'll keep that to one side. The other thing that... Oh, Taurusite, thank you so much for coming in with your raid. We're actually doing some Game Master prep today. Tyken Wasterken, thank you for coming in. It's lovely to see you. Hope you're looking good and feeling fine. I am a game master, and I also am I'm sponsored by a company called the Design Mechanism that actually plays a game called Mithras. And I do their Mithras Matters podcast, which is a podcast that gets roughly about 100 to 200 downloads. Thank you for that follow as well. Sorry, I don't have the alerts on this screen. at the moment. I'm not too sure why they're not doing the alerts. Let's just test that. Oh, that's interesting. Why is the alerts not working? Oh, I know why. Duh. Because I don't have the right scene on here. That's why. Duh. Scene. We want the actual one that says alerts. That's the one that we want. Let me just do this 1 second because there's something is gimping out there. So thank you for that follow. There's also a combat maneuver, and the combat maneuver that people can do is called outmaneuver. Here it is. So facing multiple opponents is often exceptionally dangerous. While a character suffers no penalty to his combat skills, he can soon become swamped by its opponents and rapidly run out of action points in which to defend himself. Once all his actions have been expended, the character is treated as having failed to parry on any subsequent effect. Okay, then. The best tactics to use against outnumbers are constrain the avenue of attack so that fewer opponents can attack simultaneously. Fight as a formation to place disordered opponents at a disadvantage. Outmaneuver around multiple opponents so they interfere with one another. Withdraw, then flee the combat as quickly as possible. Okay, then. Character facing multiple opponents can use movement to limit the number which can attack him at any one time. This works by constantly shifting position, forcing some foes to start running around the flanks of their companions to re-establish lines of attack. Outmaneuvering requires the character has room to move about and is not pinned to a confined area. It is also assumed that the character is engaged with the entire group of foes. Right. So this is very much the case here. I've just realized I'm just going to put the sponsors scene on here just in case anybody.
This video is sponsored by the design
not that one. I have sponsors, I think it's called, which will have on it this one. Yeah. We'll just pop that down there for anybody who wants to busy doing some ant legion. Okay. Outmaneuvering requires that the character engages opponents in a group of opposed roll of evade skills. Every participant, both the maneuvering character and those foes who wish to corner him, must spend an action point. Then they all whirl at once, and those who fail to beat the maneuvering character's roll cannot attack him for the remainder of that combat round, being blocked by their allies or terrain features. If the maneuvering character beats all its opponents, he has choice of safely engaging a single foe for the rest of withdrawing. Okay, then. So we can maybe use a bit of this rule as well. I think we might be able to use a bit of this rule to create the combat that I want. So let's just pop this rule over here, and let's concentrate on our adventure here. Let's get rid of that, and let's start a new article, and we will call this Attack of the Rabble. Attack of the Hordes. That's what we'll call it. I did do something similar to this beforehand when a load of beetles attacked them. But this was very much like they sort of like got covered by them and things like this. I don't want this to. I want this to be more of a worry to them. Okay, so let's decide some facts. Okay, then. The horde itself will have a base number of 100 mobs. Once this has been reduced to 20 or less, they will turn and flee. Okay, so that's the first sort of like rule that we're going to have. Each mob will have 1 hit point. Once this has been removed, the horde, the opponent, is dead. Characters can take down multiple opponents in a single swing if they hit. For example, a damage roll of 6 would take out 6 opponents. Okay. So that's the first thing. So members of the horde will inflict D4 damage if they hit. I might change that, but we'll see. It depends what kind of armor they've actually got up. Okay, then. So let's think about each turn. The horde and the characters will roll evade skill, and the engaged characters will roll the invade skill. So this is coming from outmaneuvering as an opposed roll. So opposed roll means that they'll both roll a 1d100. If they are successful in their evade skill and it's higher than the other person's, then they have succeeded. Each turn. Okay. This will cost an action point. Okay, so that's the first action point done. So anybody in combat is going to have to spend that as their first action point. if the mobs, if the evade roll is failed, okay then. If the character wins the opposed roll, then they can spend 1 action point to attack the horde. This attack roll needs to be successful in order. Grammarly always tells me off for using the words in order to. It sort of like says, no, all you need to put is 2, and that's it. Attack roll needs to be successful to inflict damage to the horde. Each point of damage will reduce the horde's size by 1. Okay, so that's fine. So opposed rolls, evade rolls are done first. That's the opposed roll. If the character wins the roll, then they can spend their second action to attack. They can roll their attack, and if they're successful, then they can do damage to the horde. I think the other thing that I need to say right at the top, right sort of like at the beginning here, no specials will be used in the combat. It is literally hack and slay fest. I never use the word fest, but we'll leave it there. If the character gets a critical hit, let me just turn the music up a bit because I can't hear it. And if I can't hear it, you guys will definitely not be able to hear it. If the character gets a critical hit, then they can do either max damage. They will do max down. They will do maximum damage. Okay. Okay, so the interesting thing that is coming up soon is almost like, so what happens if they fail? Okay, then. So that needs to have that tag on. Putting all my tags on. Another tag there. Then this will actually finish it off. So let's just put these tags in. like so, and then I can copy them out. If the character fails their roll, they do no damage to the horde. It is assumed that they are holding them at bay. Parrying or deflecting their blows. Okay. If a character fumbles, then their next evade roll will be 1 level, will increase by 1 level of difficulty. So in Mithras, you roll a percentile dice and you have different levels of difficulty. So it's a bit like something like hard is sort of like you remove 1/3 of your skill or something like that. Okay then. Okay then. So, but now we've got the almost like the alternative point here. So the question is, what happens if the horde hits as well? If the horde is successful in the opposed fade roll, then they will have an opportunity to hit the target. Okay, so that's fine. Depending how the party is organized, how the party organizes themselves for the onslaught will determine how many of the horde and make the evade roll. So if they're like, 3 across, then there'll be 3 of them doing the evade roll. Oh, I don't know whether or not I like that. What did this rule say? Let's just bring up this rule again. Then they roll once, and those who fail to beat the character's roll cannot attack him for the remainder of that round, being blocked. Okay, then. What happens? What does it say if the opponents win? Attacks are resolved. In the case of particularly large creatures, or those traveling might wish to maneuver passes, for example, 1d3 rounds for the Griffin. In this case, we'll try to limit. Okay, then that's not a follow-on. Gone too far. Okay, then. So engages opponents, a group, each participant, both me and the foes who wish to corner him, must spend an action point, and they roll once, and those who fail to beat a maneuvering character cannot attack him for the remainder of that round. I'm not going to put that in. In each round, 1d6 members of the of the horde can attempt to hit the party member, the character. Oh no, do I want that? I almost want 6. I think 6 is there. So there'll be 6 evasion rolls. So they'll have an opportunity to hit. They will need to roll their combat skill and be successful in order to hit. If the character has more than 2 action points, they can use any surplus to parry the blows. Yeah, that's all right. If the members of the horde hit, then they will inflict 1d4 points of damage to a random nation. Okay. I want this to I want this to be threatening. I don't want the party to think, oh, good grief, I'm just going to fight our way through this. I do want them to have that sense of panic in them. Ah. If a successful hit, if the horde makes a successful hit, the damage will be low, but they will then grip their opponent in the random location. So, okay then. So the fact with this horde is not the case that they're going to do damage. It's a case that they could be overrun. They literally could be overrun by them, and they could grip onto them and, you know, really sort of like end up bringing them down. Right, so in Mithras, there is the monsters have a I think it uses the grip combat effect. Okay then, so I think this is, I'm not too sure whether or not it's just for creatures or whether or not other monsters can, like, tell you what would be, oh right, here we go. Times like this, I think it would just be easier just to open the, yeah, so if the creatures, it can immediately grapple. If the creature's attack was parried, then the creature is granted the grip effect against the opponent's limb or pin weapon. Okay then. Okay then, so let's see. Hey Zal. No, it's no worries at all. How's things with you? Are you super busy? So here are the grip rules. The opponent may grab hold of the opponent, preventing them from being able to change weapon range or disengage from combat. All right. It's still a bit super busy, isn't it? Right. I have my combat cards. There's grip. And I have a card about grappling as well. Oh, that's no problem at all. It will pop up, hopefully. I've changed my mod recently, my bot recently, so things are still a bit hectic. But no worries at all. Thank you. Thank you. Next time I'm on a big stream, I'll sing you the song. I thought I had it set up that it was reading the messages, but I don't think it is, which is a bit of a pain. But thank you for your ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. Okay, then let's... So once script, the character will not be able to change weapons or disengage. I am wondering, the event resubscription. Let's see what it's doing. I'm thinking it's not. I love problem solving. I really do. So much fun. It can be extremely frustrating, but so much fun as well. But this part we don't hear at all. What's this bit doing? That's hiding that sub. Okay. This is waiting a huge amount of seconds, but I don't think it needs to. Right, let's save that. Let's just check where the sound is actually going. Defaults mix overlay. Why is that not doing anything? Control sound with OBS, that's right. That's all working. This was working earlier on when I tested it, but now it just doesn't seem to be working at all. Okay, then let's see what happens if we send it through cable C. What happens then? Let's just edit it. Not working at all. Disappears, and then there should be a text to speech. That says right. Pass. I have no idea why that is not working. Let's just pop it into the default, which means it'll come through my through the VMware one. Let's see whether or not it works then. Let's edit this. It's not coming. It's not coming anywhere at all. Absolutely nowhere. I'm not too sure why that's not working there. Oh, never mind. Never mind. We'll leave it how it is and try to figure it out later. Very peculiar. Okay then, once gripped, it can't change weapons. Okay then I'm going to say if 4 or more horde grip the character, then successfully grip the character. And then it will be assumed that the horde has effectively grappled character. Making the struggle action will composed of drawn or hacker sides. Right, okay then. So we need to think about skill levels. So let's Let's just log into Roll20 and see what their skill levels are like. Because then we can sort of like make a decision. So some of their combat skills are extremely high. So people like Hazra. So Hazra has 111 combat skill. Cyrus has 72. Tarek has 72. The Fishy's character has 95. And Bartleby has 27. Okay. So Bartleby's evade skill is 15. Hazra's is 33. Are they going to pap on them? 26. $50. 63. Okay, so there are some high evades, but some that are not. Okay, then. The Horde has each member of the Horde has skill levels of what, 40%? Okay, why don't we say 20%, 30%, 40%? Let's have those three. Adjust these according to the opponent. You know, I think I'm going to Horde will attack when the party are in the middle of a farming complex. They will appear from every direction, coming up out of the ground from buildings. Best place to defend will be in the center or within a building. If the fight is going easily for the characters, then the Horde members will start to erupt from the ground beneath them and start to grip and grapple their legs. When this happens, the characters roll will be characters. Happens. Characters. Difficulty grade will increase by 1 level. So I've got I've got an idea what I want them to look like. I'm sure I found some pictures of them that I was going to use. It's a Dark Stalker. I think they were like ghouls. I think that's what I ended up sort of like using. I quite like them actually. Let's just search for ghouls here. Maybe I put them on the front page. Yeah, these are what the horde look like. This sort of like shambling, half dead thing. Apart from they'll have nothing in their hands. It should be cool. Oh no, these were them. Look. These are what the horde are going to look like. Like this. They sort of like erupt out of the floor looking like that to attack. Which I think is going to be excellent. Okay then, where fantasy token set 8. Rabble from fantasy token set 8. That would be cool. Yes, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Did you manage, is tomorrow your first day, Zal, or? I know I was back last Wednesday, so I did Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. But luckily, I could work from home during those days. There was something that I was going to put in here, and I can't remember what it was now. I know. Well, I don't work a full week as you. I don't work for a full week at university. I only work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I do work Tuesday, Monday, and Tuesday. I just realised that the the party's evade is so low. It's going to be really interesting what actually happens in this adventure. I know it's part-time for content. I know. I'm actually trying to increase my streaming. So tomorrow and Tuesday, for my birthday, Eld got me Subnautica. So on Monday and Tuesdays, I'm aiming to have an early tea at 4 o'clock and then stream 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock and then go straight to bed because 8 o'clock was sort of like my limit for actually sleeping. Do you know, this thing is annoying me like anything. Why it's not. I'm just going to reboot it and see whether or not that helps. It does. It looks. I've started to play it, but I've said that I need to find my own food, which was probably a big mistake, huge. Yeah, I've managed to buy things to make things to get the gear in the capsule working. So that's done and dusted, but it just takes a huge amount of time, doesn't it? Right. Let's click this. Mix up overlay. That's where it's going. Here's the overlay. That's the default overlay. That is coming to here. Okay. So in my events, question is, why is it not doing the text to speech? I mean, it could be that this site is down. In order for this feature, you must be using the mix-up overlay, which I am doing. Services overlay. All right. I'm wondering whether or not the overlay needs to be in every scene. If you have launched this before, try. Oh, right. Okay, then. I might have got this. We go to alerts. Sorry, this is a bit boring for you because you can't see what I'm doing. Not the best streaming, but it's bugging me now. And once it starts to bug me, then that's it. Alerts. Mix up. Refresh it. So you. Okay. Let me just test the. Yeah, okay, then it's connected now. Hurrah. So now let's go into events and see whether or not the command works.
Thank you for the follow, inwils.
Yeah, there you go, it's done. Nice. At least we know that that's done and dusted then. Okay, so this is going to be quite interesting, but also I'm wondering how dangerous it'll be. Me and Mork have just had a first player Baldur's Gate been recommended to. Do you know, I tell you who Medivac plays it with his wife. Well, he plays it with some of his friends now. He should be, I'm wondering, he's normally streaming it tonight. But obviously he's not. Right. I have visions of this in my head running really well, but thinking that it might not. He does play it. He has a group of people. He might start later on. Let me just see streaming. How are you finding the new class? Are you playing the new class in Black Desert? Right, so this, I'm going to need to put these within, so the parent category is going to be, oh no, sorry, the parent choice is going to be return of the... I'm going to put this literally at 1,000 at the moment, because that will put it... right at the top there, so I've got it. It looks fun to play, but I don't think 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock he's going to start. Yeah, so he's starting. Let me see if I can grab he's starting at 8 o'clock. Let me just mid-E back. There you go. That's his channel. He has the longest stream name ever, I think. Okay, so that's I think we're on our way there. So the other thing that this article is going fine as well. So this is the spirit of swamp disease and poison. So this is going to be the anti spirit that is against the world. So the shamans are going to be that. This is what the shamans that they're going up against are. It's sort of like a shaman. The party is going up against this shaman. I love it when he says one of the beliefs is that the whole landscape should be a swamp. You know, and then that's it. It should be a swamp. Okay, then. So let's just go through this just so we see whether or not it's working all right. So the idea is that the party are in the middle of a derelict town or hamlet, few buildings outside, maybe a well in the middle, and everything seems deathly quiet and maybe burnt, or maybe plants, you know, the ground is sodden. It's very marsh-like. Dead animals lie around the place. And then just as they down this set, a bit like Gandalf in Moria when they say drums in the deep, they hear something, and then out of the buildings come the sort of like this horde of creatures that pile towards them. So basically what will happen in a combat round, the first action point is taking up with evade skill rolls, and judging about who succeeds determines who hits. I might make it so if they win, they take one action and attack the hull. The attack roll needs to be successful to quick damage. If the character gets a critical hit, they do maximum damage. If the character fails the roll, they do no damage to the horde. It is assumed that they're holding them at bay. If the character fumbles, their next evade will be a difficulty increased by 1. So if the horde is successful, then they will have the opportunity to hit the target. They will need to roll their combat skill to be successful. The character has more than 2 action points. They can parry additional blows. The horde makes a hit, their damage will be low, but they will grip their opponent in the random location. Once gripped, they inflict 1d4 points of damage. The character will not be able to change weapons or disengage. If 4 or more hordes successfully grip the character, then they will assume that the horde has effectively grappled the character. They can then take the struggle action and oppose roll of brawn on arm to release them. Yeah, I like that. I think that's going to work well. What I'm going to do is have another think about it, read it through, and then come back to it next week. So just so we know where we're up to now in here. So this is the adventure that we're working on. I need to hang on. Let me just bring up my. Let me bring up, because I need a to-do list now, which means I'm really bad where to put to-do lists, but it's a lot better just to put them all into ClickUp. Games, RPG, tasks, things to do. Right. I need to trade away in for Fish's character. Create the order for Fish's character. Let me put some tags on here. It's Mithras. Mithras as well. Filter this, go into tags. Just put Mithras on there. Rename this, call it so that's all right. Save that. Hey, Darth, how you doing? Good luck in the raid. Are you playing your whatchamacallit, your Shadow Priest? I think I've already written way in for Body on the Beast. This is what the animist knows, so I've done it for them. So on this one, we also need to probably here before it. is put something in about the arrival of that character and how that's going to come about. Good. Okay, people, that's me done for tonight. Thank you for coming along, everybody. We still got lots of work to do, but I think my brain has come to a halt now. It's definitely saying, no, you've had your go. You're not being any more creative. I think I've only streamed for an hour and a half. I don't even know whether or not I have an up time. Yeah, about an hour and a half, which is cool. I can cope with that. And then we can do some more later on next week when I get back into the swing of things. I think next week's stream, we'll do the arrival by the new character via boat. We'll do that, and we'll do the next part of the adventure. So that's done. Yeah. Okay, people, thank you so much for coming along today. I hope you've enjoyed it. And thank you for all the support throughout the weekend. Do remember, tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, I'll be playing Subnautica. So do come along and have a watch of that. And I'll try to do the same on Tuesday night as well. So trying to up the amount of time I'm streaming. So fingers crossed I won't crash and burn somewhere. Okay, good luck in the Ray, Darth, and Zal. I hope you and Morg have a fun time with Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, until then, look after yourselves, everybody, and I'll see you all later. See you. Bye-bye.